Her gaze found places my husband hadn't noticed in years, and in that single look I felt alive again. My name is Sarah. I'm 38, a mother of two, and for the past 14 years I've lived what many might call a perfect life, at least from the outside. My husband, Richard, is a good man, dependable, loyal, hardworking. But over time, something between us faded, like paint left too long in the sun. It's still there, but cracked and fragile. Our conversations turned into schedules, our dinners into quiet routines and intimacy. Just another task he was too exhausted to care about. I never imagined questioning my marriage until one afternoon when Aaron returned. I hadn't seen him in nearly 20 years. He was the boy next door who moved away after high school, the same boy who once helped me climb the old oak tree in my parents' backyard and laughed when I tumbled into his arms. That boy was now a man, tall, calm, wrapped in a quiet mystery. He'd come back to sell his late aunt's house across the street from ours, and the first time he looked at me, it was as if time hadn't passed. "Sarah," he asked, with a smile that stirred something deep inside me. "Aaron," I barely recognized my own voice. A pang in my chest began the moment our eyes met. Over the next few days, we exchanged small greetings at first, but small things grow quickly when your heart craves attention. I started noticing details. The way he truly listened when I spoke, the way his eyes lingered a little too long, and how my breath caught every time he said my name. At night, lying next to Richard, I stared at the ceiling, remembering how Aaron's voice made me feel warm and wanted. Richard barely noticed the shift in me, too busy, too tired, too distant. One evening, after another quiet meal and a one-sided conversation, I stepped outside. The sun had set, painting the sky in soft hues. That's when I saw Aaron again, standing on his porch, holding a coffee mug, watching the sunset. I don't know why I walked over. Maybe loneliness, maybe curiosity, maybe something deeper I wasn't ready to admit. "Mind if I join you?" I asked. "Please," he said, pulling out a chair. "I was hoping you would." We sat in silence at first, but it wasn't awkward. It was warm, magnetic, like the pause before a first kiss, one that hadn't happened yet. "Sarah," he said softly, "are you truly happy?" "I don't know," I whispered. He turned to me and the world went quiet. No kids, no chores, no failing marriage, just his eyes and mine. Before I could say more, thunder cracked. A sudden summer storm rolled in, wild and fierce. Rain poured down like it had been waiting for years. "Come inside," he said, grabbing my hand as we ran to his door. Soaked and breathless, I laughed for the first time in months. "You're drenched," he said, handing me a towel. Our fingers brushed and lingered. That moment was dangerous, beautiful. As the storm raged outside, my heart whispered a question I was too afraid to voice. What if everything I've ever wanted is right here? The storm didn't let up that night. It poured as if the heavens had opened, as if they knew something sacred was unfolding behind closed doors. I stood in Aaron's living room, a towel draped over my shoulders, my heart pounding like a forbidden drum. Every part of me screamed to leave, but my feet stayed. So did his. We sat together on the edge of his couch, thunder rolling outside, shadows flickering on the walls from the warm glow of a lamp. My hair was damp. His eyes held questions I wasn't ready for but wanted to answer. "I've thought about you," he said, his voice low and deliberate. "All these years you've always come back to me." My breath caught. "Aaron, I'm married," I whispered. "I know," he said. "I'm not here to break anything, but I see what's in your eyes." I looked away. "It's not that simple." He leaned closer. "Sarah, the heart doesn't care about contracts or routines. It only knows when it's dying and when it's alive." His words shattered the last denial I clung to. For years, I'd been breaking quietly, as a good wife should. But now, next to Aaron, I felt alive, torn, hopeful, reckless. He didn't touch me, but his presence filled every empty space inside me. I stood abruptly. "I should go." He walked me to the door. The rain had softened to a whisper. He didn't ask me to stay, but as I left, he said something I wasn't ready for. "If you ever want to be seen again, you know where I am." Days passed, but I wasn't the same. Richard finally noticed. "You've been quiet," he said over breakfast. "I've always been quiet," I replied, hiding behind my coffee mug. He didn't press. He never did. That was the problem. I was a ghost in my own home. Later that week, I saw Aaron again, this time at the grocery store. Innocent, or maybe not. We stood in aisle 3, surrounded by cereal boxes and unspoken tension. "You look tired," he said. "I don't sleep much anymore," I admitted. Our hands brushed, reaching for the same brand of coffee, and there it was again, that spark. He stepped closer. "Why do you punish yourself, Sarah?" I closed my eyes. "Because if I let go, I don't know who I'll be." He smiled softly. "Then let's find out together." That night, I didn't go home after running errands. I drove past our street and sat in my car outside Aaron's house until the lights in mine went out. I called him, one ring. "Sarah," his voice was thick with sleep. "I'm outside." He was at the door in seconds. I didn't wait. I stepped into his arms. We didn't kiss, just held each other. That was more dangerous than any kiss could have been. "I don't want to break my life," I whispered. He pressed his forehead to mine. "Then don't, build a new one." I pulled back. "The kids, Richard. I'm not asking you to run away. I'm asking you to come back to yourself." His words pierced me. I'd lost myself in roles, wife, mother, the quiet woman who never wanted more. We talked all night, memories, regrets, dreams too wild to say aloud. The clock ticked, but time stood still. By dawn, something in me had shifted. The next morning, I sat across from Richard. The kids were at school. A heavy silence hung between us. "I need to talk," I said. He looked up, surprised. "Okay." I told him everything, not about Aaron, but about the emptiness, the loneliness, years of pretending. To my surprise, Richard cried. "Why didn't you tell me?" "I did," I said softly. 1,000 times. You stopped listening." No fights, no shouting, just quiet truths laid bare. He asked if there was someone else. I paused. "There's someone who reminded me I'm still a woman, not just a role." That was enough. He understood. I moved out for a while, staying with my sister, not Aaron. I needed clarity, and Aaron respected that. He texted me every morning. "Good morning, Sarah," and every night. "I'm here when you're ready." Weeks passed. I started therapy. Richard and I agreed on a peaceful separation. The kids took it better than I expected. Kids sense when love is missing. One rainy afternoon, much like the first, I stood on Aaron's porch again, this time on purpose. He opened the door, his smile unquestioning. He pulled me into a long, quiet embrace. "I'm ready now," I said. He looked into my eyes. "Then let's write the rest of your story together." And so began my second chapter, not with fireworks or scandal, but with a slow-burning truth and a man who saw me when I couldn't even see myself. Because sometimes, love doesn't knock, it waits.